Welcome Jack Evans to Wordle with Gaga. Welcome Nema to Wordle with Gaga.
Gaga Grumps says welcome gremlins to the game grotto. Take a seat, grab your daily heart, spend your points.
Thanks for following. Are you Team Grumps?
Welcome to Lukic to Wordle with Gaga. Welcome Gaga and Grumps to Wordle with Gaga. Welcome IDFWU to Wordle with Gaga. Welcome OT to Wordle with Gaga. Welcome Ollie Brass to Wordle with Gaga.
Welcoming guys, settle down. Grab your
Welcome is Lay to Wordle with Gaga.
share us round. Now tap that screen, tap it, tap that screen, yeah, tap it. It's your
Gaga Grumps says welcome gremlins to the game grotto.
Welcome Nibby to Wordle with
Grab
Gaga.
your daily heart, claim your points and prepare to play.
Gang gremlins on the scene. Gang gremlins on the scene.
Welcome Grumps to Wordle with Gaga.
Gang gremlins on the scene.
Grumps says welcome one, welcome all.
Now tap that screen. Tap it,
Welcome Oscar to Wordle with Gaga.
Tap it. Gang gremlins coming, let's go. Now tap that screen. Tap it, tap that screen. Yeah, tap it. Let's see those team stickers flow. Gang gremlins on the scene.
Welcome Brit Mango to Wordle with Gaga.
Now tap that screen. Now tap that screen.
One of us.
Somebody,
One
anybody, everybody.
of us.
Now tap that screen.
Welcome Shay to Wordle with Gaga.
Gang gremlins on the scene.
One of us. None of us.
Welcome Rin. RL to Wordle with Gaga. Welcome HD to Wordle with Gaga.
Gaga Grumps says hi everyone.
Welcome Jack Wright to Wordle with Gaga.
She says, Mother, do I buy full?
Grumps says Gaga is taking an urgent phone call, shall be back momentarily.
Chase says she's on the phone, briefly.
Chase says that Brit Mango thanks for your support. You're right, you'll get full.
Welcome Kobe saluting face to Wordle with Gaga.
Chase says I hope the urgency. She
Welcome
won the lottery and can fund my fault.
SCARLETTBLULEWIS to Wordle with Gaga. Welcome Jake's D Prince to Wordle with Gaga.
Chase says at Jake's _ 3D dash Prince nope shushes AFK for a sec.
Welcome Mackenzie Wilson to Wordle with Gaga.
Chase says at Ethan, "I'm good thanks. How are you?"
Chase says at Brick Mango, yes, for friends.
Grump says Gaga is taking an urgent phone call, shall be back momentarily.
Chase says, ooh, nice, I love tea and biscuits.
Chase says that Oscar am more offended that if I called her she'd ignore me. Who's more important?
Grump says at Jake's _ 3D dash Princess on her Mac, not mine. It'd have to box her out of the way, seems over the top. Welcome Essence to Wordle with Gaga. Grump says that Oscar my tea is right in front of me, no need to provide any more.
One of us, none of us.
Welcome STOPSAYING to Wordle with Gaga. Grump says I do love the freeze frame though, she looks quizzical. Grump says at Oscar quick. Welcome Olivia to Wordle with Gaga.
Chase says it grumps and mildly traumatized.
One of us, none of us.
Chase says, did you win the lottery? Are you funding my foe?
Gaga Grumps says sorry guys. Had a telephone APPT with consultant at 4.30.
Welcome LL Creative to Wordle with Gaga.
Gaga Grumps says thought I could get you in and settle before it came in lol.
Chase says well it's for 09 so excuse denied.
Welcome Trina to Wordle with Gaga. Grump says at Ethan, whatever you do, do not look at TikTok shop and fall for their broken biscuit deals.
One of us.
Welcome Ron to Wordle with Gaga.
Gaga Grumps says I know. Who knew they would actually call early for once lol.
Thanks for
Chase
following.
Says ill take some forest
Are you
compensation.
Team Grumps?
She says
Thanks for
Oscar
following.
heck.
Are you Team Grumps?
Welcome Abs Ringed Planet to Wordle with Gaga. Welcome COURTNEY White Heart to Wordle with Gaga.
Gaga Grumps says we can Wordle
Welcome
now.
Handbags
I was
Whiners
going
to
to have
Wordle
you do
with
the
Gaga.
auto Wordle until my call was done, but hey, we're sorted lol.
Chase says, what kind of fevered dream made the Grumps emote talk?
Gaga Grumps says I did.
Grump says at Oscar I'm always animated.
Gaga Grumps says Gemini refuses to make me talk.
Chase says probably a good thing.
Benjamin is in the house.
Gaga Grumps says yes, everyone in the house before Gaga.
Grump says at HANDBAGS4WHINERS just the tip, A.
Gaga Grumps says let's play Wordle.
Welcome Not Chazza to
Gaga
Wordle with
Grumps
Gaga.
says what letter will the wheel choose? Predictions in the chat now.
Grump says at Ethan I just had 4 boxes delivered yesterday, 20 quidish.
New clue activated.
Gaga Grumps says we are starting with A. X.
Grump says X marking the spot.
Gaga Grumps says like race incoming. Tap those screens. Winner chooses the first word.
Welcome it's Jordan X to Wordle with Gaga.
Gaga Grumps says want to steal the starting word. Send the ranking crown and snipe the list. Gaga Grumps says sorry, new leg race is go lol. Gaga Grumps says I've given you the beat, now let's see your fingers dance.
Grumps says too much new and unusual today.
Gaga Grumps says your word starting with X please Ethan. Gaga Grumps says Xylem you got.
Welcome to NK $. D. to Wordle with Gaga.
Gaga Grumps says which also means the old leaderboard will be showing your game long taps. Gaga Grumps says a green E moved into number 4 Wordle Street.
Welcome Tilly to Wordle with Gaga. Welcome Radio Apple to Wordle with Gaga.
Gaga Grumps says same as old race. I think TikTok only tells WebSocket 30% to begin with.
One of us, none of us. Thanks for following.
Gaga Grumps says, but
Are
I'm
you
hiding the
Team
numbers on it
Grumps?
so no one can get their knickers in a twist.
Grumps says at Radio Apple Heya.
Gaga Grumps says greed fits.
Welcome Kane to Wordle with Gaga.
Gaga Grumps says another E but is homeless.
Thanks for following. Are you Team Grumps?
Welcome Muslin to Wordle with Gaga.
Gaga Grumps says 7 works.
Grumps says at Radio Apple calm down.
Gaga Grumps says nice Trina.
Welcome Isla to Wordle with Gaga.
Thanks for following. Are
Grumps
you
says it
Team
either high.
Grumps? Thanks for following. Are you Team Grumps?
Welcome Archie to Wordle with Gaga.
Gaga Grumps says there aren't SPOSED to be plurals, but I don't trust this fame.
Welcome Football King to Wordle with Gaga. Welcome Charmaine to Wordle with Gaga. Welcome the Hailster to Wordle with Gaga.
Gaga Grumps says I'm thinking it might be Eves because there isn't really a singular.
Welcome Jacques to Wordle with Gaga.
It's playtime! Gaga is in the box!
Welcome Louis HOWARTH to Wordle with Gaga.
Grumps is on the button! Good game.
Gaga Grumps says GG Gremlins. Let's see those W's in the chat.
Let those stickers fly! Which team are you on? Team Gaga, give it
Thanks for following. Are you Team Grumps?
Welcome the Dog Cow, Pony, to Wordle with Gaga. Grump says at IDFW like G. Welcome Max Birchenow to Wordle with Gaga. Grump says at the dogcow.pony.12.
Gaga Grumps says there are exceptions in this version, and leaves will be one because it isn't a singular. Gaga Grumps says nope, not replacing it because when we switch to my game there won't be exceptions.
Grump says at Radio Apple we're here another 2 hours nearly.
Gaga Grumps says if you haven't done it yet grab your daily heart while I set up the next grid.
Welcome KLJ to Wordle with Gaga. Welcome Alan to Wordle with Gaga.
Gaga Grumps says let's play Wordle.
Welcome CFC Harley to Wordle with Gaga.
Gaga Grumps says what letter will the wheel choose? Predictions in the chat now.
Welcome B to Wordle with Gaga. Welcome school songs to Wordle with Gaga. Welcome HARRY to Wordle with Gaga. Welcome domain expansion Leon Sanders
Gaga
to Wordle
Grumps
with
says we
Gaga.
are starting with A. T. Gaga Grumps says like race incoming. Tap those screens. Winner
Welcome
chooses
Koi's
the first word.
SSSSS to Wordle with Gaga. Welcome Lucas Barham to Wordle with Gaga. Welcome LUCAS to Wordle with Gaga.
Race to the top like a thon. Tap and don't stop like a thon. Who will be crowned like a thon? Gremlin renowned like
Gaga Grumps says want to steal the starting word. Send the ranking crown and snipe the list.
Welcome Star Becky Star to Wordle with Gaga.
Gaga Grumps says I'm
Welcome
giving
Bella.
the beat now.
Take it
Let's
to
see
Wordle
the
with
fingers
Gaga.
dance. Gaga Grumps says your word starting with T, please, Ryan. Gaga Grumps says no because the game recognizes and announces the winner. I need to change my text cause song has nothing to do with it.
Chase says I have a grumpling for a daughter this afternoon.
Gaga Grumps says game is set for 1 minute and then announces winner. I don't have to see who was on top.
Grumps says at Koi's one, what are you prattling on about? Welcome Chris Duncan to Wordle with Gaga.
Gaga Grumps says treat you got.
it's a Wordle wipeout. No letters to shout. Wipeout. Lost in the
Gaga Grumps says white bats in the chat.
Grump says at Reese no T or E.
One of us, none of us.
Welcome Man United Wordle to Wordle with Gaga.
Gaga Grumps says shock fits. Gaga Grumps says green H and C live at 2 and 4. Gaga Grumps says we don't play for letters unless the board needs a filter. Gaga Grumps says which works.
Fireworks for Gaga.
Gaga Grumps says and we have a power of the white hat.
Explode 'em on her face, she's in a happy place. Fireworks for Gaga. Wordle within 3, so gifts explode with glee. Fireworks for Gaga. Emojis make her happy.
Gaga Grumps says Wordle in 3. Let's see those fireworks in the chat.
Good game.
Fireworks for Gaga. From a single rose to a whole bouquet. Anything will be okay.
Welcome El White Heart to Wordle with Gaga.
Gaga Grumps says GG Gremlins. Let's see those W's in the chat.
Welcome Isaac to Wordle with Gaga.
Fireworks for Gaga.
Gaga Grumps says if you haven't done it yet, grab your daily heart while I set up the next grid.
Thanks for following. Are you Team Grumps?
Gaga Grumps says let's play Wordle. Gaga Grumps says what letter will the wheel choose? Predictions in the chat now. Gaga Grumps says we are starting with A. N. Gaga Grumps says like race incoming. Tap those screens. Winner chooses the first word.
Welcome Summer to Wordle with Gaga.
Race to the top like a thorn. Tap and don't stop like a thorn. Who will be crowned like a thorn? Gremlin renowned like a thorn. Fingers on fire like a thorn.
Gaga Grumps says want to steal the starting word. Send the ranking crown and snipe the list.
Benjamin is in the house.
Gaga Grumps says I've given you the beat, now let's see your fingers dance. Gaga Grumps says your word starting with N, please, Ryan.
Benjamin is in the house.
Gaga Grumps says summer in the house.
Chase says Kara just stood full booted weight on my cat's tail and didn't say anything.
It's a Wordle wipeout. No letters to shout.
Gaga Grumps says wipeouts in the chat.
Lost in the grid, can figure it out. Oh no.
Welcome Holly to Wordle with Gaga.
Gaga Grumps says FFS what is wrong with then shy.
Chase says everything.
Gaga Grumps says don't spam
Welcome
a word.
Noah to Wordle with
Once
Gaga.
is enough. Adding it more than once won't get your word used. Gaga Grumps says yellow D and E in need of homes.
Grumps says it's summer oi.
Gaga Grumps
Welcome
says death
Stano
to spammers.
BCFC to Wordle with Gaga.
Gaga Grumps says that will get filtered lol. Gaga Grumps says no, change 10 letters wiped from the game.
Grumps says at Stano_BCFC no.
Gaga Grumps says we have a song request in the chat.
No audio Gaga. No audio Gaga. No audio Gaga. No audio Gaga. People drop them in the chat. Think they're clever, but they ain't all that. All we cheer is no audio Gaga. No as you either. No audio Gaga. All those vowels are to blame. Extra guesses, risk losing the game. All we cheer is no audio Gaga.
Welcome Sunny to Wordle with Gaga.
As you either. No audio Gaga.
Gaga Grumps says breed works. Gaga Grumps says someone spotted me in the wild in Jan's live. Gaga Grumps says GG Gremlins. Let's see those W's in the chat.
Will the fireworks fly? A random star chosen by fate. Play a part, it's a live date. Wordle with Gaga. Wordle with Gaga.
Gaga Grumps says giving you a follow man.
Wordle with Gaga.
Gaga Grumps says do you do the daily Wordle? I post mine on my page and would love you to share your results.
It's do or die, only in 3. A pretty sky. A Wordle with Gaga.
Gaga Grumps says if you haven't done it yet, grab your daily heart while I set up the next grid. Gaga Grumps says let's play Wordle. Gaga Grumps says what letter will the wheel choose? Predictions in the chat now. Gaga Grumps says we are starting with A. L. Gaga Grumps says like race incoming.
Welcome Jacob Shear to
Tap those
Wordle with
screens.
Gaga.
Winner chooses the first word.
Like a thong, race to the top, like a thon. Tap and don't stop, like a thon. Who will be crowned like a thon? Gremlin renowned like a thon. Fingers on fire like a thon. Gremlins don't tire like a thon. Hearts be flying.
Gaga Grumps says want to steal the starting word. Send the ranking crown and snipe the list. Gaga Grumps says I've given you the beat, now let's see your fingers dance.
Everybody get down! It's a freaking sniper! Ha ha!
Chase says Mark just hit the wrong button when transferring our website hosting and we lost the whole thing. Gaga Grumps says Ryan won the race but that Sneaky Grumps sniped the crown.
Welcome Adam to Wordle with Gaga.
Gaga Grumps says your word starting with L, please.
Grumps says lover for Ryan.
Gaga Grumps says no backup, shy greater than. Gaga Grumps says thought we had 3 in a row then. A yellow R in need of a home.
Grumps says unless someone nuked the data center, nothing is lost by a click.
Gaga Grumps says right fits.
Welcome Charlie to Wordle with Gaga.
Gaga Grumps says we added a homeless T.
Chase says even when transferring out.
Gaga grumps says trunk works.
Welcome Charlie Barton to Wordle with Gaga.
Gaga grumps says don't spam your word. Once is enough. Adding it more than once won't get your word
Chase
used.
says that Maisie 10/10's name.
Gaga grumps says we're starting with true.
Welcome Maisie to Wordle with Gaga.
Gaga grumps says
Welcome
Trump
Sandra
in 5.
Kreska to Wordle with Gaga. Welcome Stu Findley 19 to Wordle with Gaga. Welcome Jian Su
Gaga
to
grumps
Wordle with
says
Gaga.
or 4 even.
Chase says that no Tia Ender.
Welcome Trina JK followers saluting face to Wordle with Gaga.
Welcome in, guys. Settle down. Grab your heartbeat. Share us round.
Gaga grumps says GG Gremlins. Let's see those W's in the chat.
Welcome Ankiller Z to Wordle with Gaga.
Gang gremlins on the scene. Gang gremlins on the scene.
One of us.
Gaga grumps says welcome Gremlins to the game
One
grotto. Take a seat. Grab your daily heart. Claim your points.
Grump says at Che when transferring out, they have a backup still, unless you're spectacularly unfortunate.
Gang gremlins come and let's go. Now tap that screen. Tap it, tap it.
Jamming is in the house.
Tap it, tap it. Let's see those team stickers flow. Gang gremlins on the scene.
Gaga grumps says Enkiller in the house. Thanks for doing your daily
Now
heart.
tap that screen.
Grump says that Che asked, it's highly unlikely they wiped it right away. And your account is still live, presumably.
Now tap that screen. Gang gremlins on the scene.
Gaga grumps says a lot of people said it Charlie. Gaga grumps says treasure box up if you need a coin for your daily heart. Gaga grumps says if you haven't done it yet, grab your daily heart while I set up the next grid.
Grump says at Crystal morning. Welcome Crystal to Wordle with Gaga.
Chase says at Grumps will do.
Welcome Bulletproof Gaming to Wordle with Gaga.
Gaga grumps says let's play Wordle.
Benjamin is in the house.
Gaga grumps says Crystal in the house. Gaga grumps says what letter will the wheel choose? Predictions in the chat now.
One of us. one of us. Thanks for following.
Grumps says at Che worst case,
Are
have
you
fantastic
Team
learning opportunities
Grumps?
to develop a good backup culture. Welcome Mackenzie to Wordle with Gaga. Grumps says at bulletproof gaming _ stop spamming. Welcome Lee to Wordle with Gaga.
Gaga Grumps says we are starting with A. L. Gaga Grumps says thanks for the finger hearts and killer and being a title gifter.
Level up.
Grumps says at Ankiller Z.
Gaga Grumps says level up coming at end of this game. Gaga Grumps says like race incoming. Tap those screens. Winner chooses the first word.
Welcome M to Wordle with Gaga.
Race to the top like a thon. Tap and don't stop like a thon. Who will be crowned like a thon? Gremlin renowned like a thon. Fingers on fire like a thon. Gremlins don't tire like a thon. Hearts beat flying like a thon.
Gaga Grumps says want to steal the starting word. Send the ranking crown and snipe the
Jay
list.
says tap myself out of stream again.
Welcome a Giles Prick to Wordle with Gaga. Grumps says posting the same word more than twice is spamming. I shall make use of the mute button post haste.
Gaga Grumps says I've given you the beat, now let's see your fingers dance.
Welcome PZ Callum Coffam to Wordle with Gaga. Grumps says at Trina I grunt and point at the empty glasses from the
One
That's plenty
of us. One of us.
Level up.
Gaga Grumps says your word starting with W please Ryan. Gaga Grumps says I only get grunts with my morning coffee lol.
Level up.
Benjamin is in the house.
Welcome Harley to Wordle with Gaga.
Gaga Grumps says Callum in the house, thanks for doing your daily heart. Gaga Grumps says did you level up too Callum?
Welcome Tyler to Wordle with Gaga.
Gaga Grumps says a green Y lives at number 5 Wordle Street.
Level up.
Grump says at Trina it's all her indoors. I'm just here as eye candy. Welcome HC to Wordle with Gaga.
Gaga Grumps says Callum, did you level up or are you just using the stickers?
Welcome Xtillies. Spam. X to Wordle with Gaga. Welcome Big Man to Wordle with Gaga.
Gaga Grumps says level up for Enkiller and Callum at end of game.
Welcome Squishy Love Island to Wordle with Gaga. Grump says at Squishy Love Island are you now?
Gaga Grumps says Tangy Fits.
Welcome Coffee Plus Darcy Love to Wordle with Gaga.
Gaga Grumps says an A moved into number 2.
Welcome R to Wordle with Gaga. Welcome Mason. Get to Wordle with Gaga.
Che says Jesse declared that losing his teeth will be scary and so he hopes the tooth fairy gives him £1,000.
Thanks for following. Are you Team Grumps?
Gaga Grumps says it may be salty but you spammed it so I ignored you.
Grump says at HC yeah, and you spammed, thus got ignored. Go on and he'll give you room for thought. Welcome Kokasibo to Wordle with Gaga.
Gaga Grumps says it's not salty. Gaga Grumps says don't spam your word. Once is enough. Adding it more than once won't get your word used.
Grump says at Chaper Tooth.
Chase says at Grumps precisely.
Welcome Thomas Pickett to Wordle with Gaga.
Gaga Grumps says let's do sassy for my Grand Cub sassy pants.
Thanks for following. Are you Team
Che
Grumps?
says at Squishy Love Island, thank goodness it's a free world. and you
Welcome
can scroll.
Alpha M Jellyfish to Wordle with Gaga. Welcome Isla to Wordle with Gaga.
Gaga Grumps says Wordle said nope.
Welcome Katrin to Wordle with Gaga.
Chase says how dare it not be sassy.
Welcome Beverly to Wordle with Gaga. Welcome Greater Than Aggie Eats to Wordle with Gaga.
Gaga Grumps says going badly to try 3 new letters and hopefully filter down a bit before danger zone.
Grumps says it greater than Aggie eats less than nature is healing.
Gaga Grumps says danger zone all options in chat.
Welcome
Jay
Ethan to
says
Wordle with
Sassy
Gaga.
does love her daddy.
Thanks for following. Are you Team Grumps?
Gaga Grumps says I only see 2 for 2 guesses, no filter needs.
Welcome THEBCFC to Wordle with Gaga.
Thanks for following.
Gaga Grumps says
Are
Maddie
you
and Caddy.
Team Grumps?
Welcome Josh to Wordle with Gaga.
Jay says my foe is still 1 hour away from being delivered. I am wasting away.
Thanks for following. Are you Team Grumps?
Welcome Erzy Kelth Street to Wordle with Gaga.
Thanks for following. Are you Team Grumps?
Welcome Omar to Wordle with Gaga.
It's playtime! Gaga is in the box! Don't let her lose!
Welcome Knots, MABS to
Gaga
Wordle with
Grumps
Gaga.
says Daddy is in the grid.
Don't let him push yours! Are you ready to play? Let those stickers fly! Which team are you on? Team Gaga, give a cheer. Team Grumps, are you here?
Gaga Grumps says Caddy it is.
Team Grumps, are you steady? Game! Gremlins, let's go! Game! Gremlins, let's go! Team Gaga, Gaga, Gaga,
Grumps says it greater than Aggie eats less than what you have.
Team Gaga, are you ready? Team Grumps, are you steady? Game! Gremlins, let's go! Game! Gremlins, let's go! Game! Gremlins, let's go! Good game. Game! Gremlins, let's go! Game! Gremlins, let's go!
Gaga Grumps says GG Gremlins. Let's see those W's in the chat. Gaga Grumps says do the do for Gaga. Share the live chat, the chat, and shower her with roses and GGs.
Go green.
Grumps says it greater than Aggie eats less than a hearty chicken one.
It's a LLL level up. I guessed it
Level
all,
up.
guessed it right. Now here we are, another height. If support was letters, you'd spell wow. This level's ours, come out with me now. Green, green, look at that glow. Didn't solve Wordle solo though. Support came in, guess it's snap.
Gaga Grumps says yet 2 level ups coming after this song.
New fandom level, streak still alive. Wordle solved and you
Gaga Grumps says a quick segue for this. Level up in the room for Ankela.
Welcome Lollipophead to Wordle with Gaga. Grumps says it greater than Aggie eats less than make it thicker, so it's more like stew.
Thanks for following. Are
Gaga
you
Grumps
Team
says thanks
Grumps?
for leveling up in the room, Ankela.
Welcome Amelia to Wordle with Gaga.
It's a LLL level up. I guessed it wrong.
Gaga Grumps says a quick segue for this.
One
Level up
of
in the room
us,
for Callum.
none of us.
Welcome Shaking Face to Wordle with Gaga.
Green, look at that glow. Didn't solve Wordle solo though. Support came in, guess it's snap. Level unlocked, shout out chat.
Chase says website back.
Still alive, Wordle solved and you helped me thrive. Tomorrow we guess same time, same chat, same brilliant brains. Remember that.
Level up.
Gaga Grumps says thanks for leveling up in the room, Callum.
Welcome Chill Gardener to Wordle with Gaga.
Shout! It's Cooper! Hey! Shine, shine, shine. Da, 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 da. Shine, shine. It's Cooper!
Gaga Grumps says BRB is Cooper time and I have to wiggle.
Wiggle butt, just a little mud with the wiggle butt. Gremlin say what? He's a corgi, don't you know? His name
Grumps
is
says it Che found it behind the cow.
Wiggle butt, just a little mud with a wiggle butt. Gremlin say what? With a wiggle butt, just a little mud with a wiggle butt. Gremlin say what?
Welcome Chris to Wordle with Gaga.
Cute and fluffy puffball tail, Cooper.
Chase says
Cooper,
Grumps
we
the
do,
fridge.
yeah. Wiggle butt, just a little mud with a wiggle butt. Gremlin say what? With a wiggle butt.
Welcome CINQ to Wordle with Gaga. Grumps says it Chill Gardener Heya. Grumps says at CINQ your wildest fever dreams. Welcome Joshua Krells to Wordle with Gaga.
Gaga Grumps says thanks for the wiggles everyone's. Gaga Grumps says it won't hurt you.
One
Gaga
of
Grumps says
us,
if you haven't done it yet, grab your daily
one
heart
of
twice over the next
us.
Welcome CINQ to Wordle with Gaga. Welcome Gaga and Grumps to Wordle with Gaga.
Gaga Grumps says thanks for the wiggles everyone's.
Welcome Crystal to Wordle with Gaga. Welcome Handbags Whiners to Wordle with Gaga.
Gaga Grumps says if you haven't done it yet, grab your daily heart while I set up the next grid. Gaga Grumps says see you in the house, thanks for doing your daily heart.
Welcome Trina to Wordle with Gaga.
Gaga Grumps says Tickfinity being its usual fun self.
Welcome Grumps to Wordle with Gaga.
Gaga Grumps says Wahoo Enkela.
Welcome Enkela Z to Wordle with Gaga.
Gaga Grumps says let's play Wordle.
Welcome IDFWU to Wordle with Gaga. Grumps says at Enkela Z that's on you. Welcome Shaking Face to Wordle with Gaga. Welcome LL Creative to Wordle with Gaga.
Gaga Grumps says what letter will the wheel choose? Predictions in the chat now. Gaga Grumps says we are starting with A. U.
Like a thong, race to the top, like a thon. Tap and don't stop, like a thon. Who will be crowned like a thon? Gremlin renowned, like a thon. Fingers on fire, like a thon.
Welcome it's Jordan X to Wordle with Gaga.
Hearts be flying like a thon. Gremlins defying.
Welcome Alpha M Jellyfish to Wordle with Gaga.
Gaga Grumps says your word starting with U please Ryan. Gaga Grumps says under you got. Gaga Grumps says a yellow D in need of a home. Gaga Grumps says solid fits.
One of us, none of us.
Benjamin is in the house.
Gaga Grumps says we end in ID.
Benjamin is in the house.
Gaga Grumps says Rufus in the house, thanks for doing your daily heart. Gaga Grumps says timid works. Gaga Grumps says Vapid still works. Gaga Grumps says Aphid is in the grid. Gaga Grumps says GG Gremlins. Let's see those W's in the chat.
Good game. Play your part, it's a live day. Wordle with Gaga. Wordle with Gaga. Wordle with Gaga.
Gaga Grumps says can you do the daily Wordle? I post mine on my page and would love you to share your results. Gaga Grumps says isn't it just?
It's do or die, only in 3. A pretty sky. A Wordle with Gaga.
Gaga Grumps says if you haven't done it yet, grab your daily heart while I set up the next grid. Gaga Grumps says let's play Wordle. Gaga Grumps says what letter will the wheel choose? Predictions in the chat now. Gaga Grumps says we are starting with A. M.
One of us, none of us.
Benjamin is in the house.
Gaga Grumps says like race incoming. Tap those screens. Winner chooses the first word.
Like-a-thon, race to the top, like-a-thon, tap and don't stop, like-a-thon, who will be crowned, like-a-thon.
Grumps says at Miller Gaming higher.
Gaga Grumps says want to steal the starting word. Send the ranking crown and snipe the list. Gaga Grumps says I've given you the beat, now let's see your fingers dance. Gaga Grumps says your word starting with M, please, Ryan.
Benjamin is in the house.
Gaga Grumps says Miller in the house, thanks for doing your daily heart. Gaga Grumps says Major you got. Gaga Grumps says yellow are in need of a home. Gaga Grumps says right on. Gaga Grumps says no, change 8 letters wiped from the game. Gaga Grumps says drunk fits. Gaga Grumps says what the? Gaga Grumps says Ferry is in the grid. Gaga Grumps says Wordle says nope. Gaga Grumps says I'd say danger zone, but I think our options will be short at this stage lol. Gaga Grumps says screw for 5.
Welcome, Gremlins, to the game grotto.
Good game.
Welcome, Gremlins,
Good game.
to the game grotto.
Welcome in, guys. Settle down.
Gaga Grumps says
Good
GG Gremlins. Let's see those W's in the chat.
Now tap that screen, tap it, tap it, tap that screen, yeah, tap it, tap it. It's your warm-up routine. Game Gremlins on the scene. Game Gremlins on the scene. Game Gremlins on the scene.
Level up.
Gaga Grumps says welcome Gremlins to the game grotto. Take a seat, grab your daily heart, claim your points and prepare to play. Gaga Grumps says have a good day, Christian.
Let's see those team stickers flow. Game Gremlins on the scene.
Gaga Grumps says I am non-speaking. There is a pinned post on my page explaining.
Now tap that screen. Now tap that screen. Game Gremlins on the scene.
Gaga Grumps says treasure box up if you need a coin for your daily heart. Gaga Grumps says if you haven't done it yet, grab your daily heart while I set up the next grid. Gaga Grumps says did someone level up? Gaga Grumps says I got it in 4 today, I think. Gaga Grumps says let's play Wordle. Gaga Grumps says what letter will the wheel choose? Predictions in the chat now. Gaga Grumps says we are starting with A, D.
Grumps says we are Q-less today, never a good sign.
Gaga Grumps says like race incoming. Tap those screens. Winner chooses the first word.
Grumps says at Crystal have a great day.
Gaga Grumps says want to steal the starting word. Send the ranking crown and snipe the list.
Grumps says it ill creative one, those were the glory days.
Gaga Grumps says your word starting with D, please, Ryan.
Benjamin is in the house.
Gaga Grumps says hello in the house, thanks for doing your daily heart. Gaga Grumps says Dijon you got. Gaga Grumps says so it is a better race. Gaga Grumps says Wordle says no. Gaga Grumps says it's a proper noun, city. Gaga Grumps says, oh, are they the other way around? Gaga Grumps says still no. Gaga Grumps says yellow A&N in need of homes. Gaga Grumps says alone fits. Gaga Grumps says yeah, that's Dijon as in the French city. Gaga Grumps says no change. Gaga Grumps says can't be clone. Gaga Grumps says human works. Gaga Grumps says N moved into number 5, found a homeless H. Gaga Grumps says indeed must be chain.
It's playtime! Gaga is in the box! Don't let her lose! Grumps is on the buttons!
Gaga Grumps says GG Gremlins. Let's see those W's in the chat.
Are you ready to play? Let those stickers fly! Which team are you on? Team Gaga, give a cheer. Team Grumps, are you here? Team Gaga, are you ready? Team Grumps, are you steady? Get
Gaga Grumps says doobadoo to Gaga. Share the live chat for chat and shower her with roses and GGs. Gaga Grumps says only one lot of fireworks today. Gaga Grumps says if you haven't done it yet, grab your daily heart while I set up the next grid. Gaga Grumps says let's play Wordle. Gaga Grumps says what letter will the wheel choose? Predictions in the chat now. Gaga Grumps says we are starting with A. Z. Gaga Grumps says like race incoming. Tap those screens. Winner chooses the first word.
Race to the top like a thon. Tap and don't stop like a thon. Who will be crowned like a thon? Gremlin renowned like a thon. Fingers on fire like a thon. Gremlins don't tire like a thon. Hearts beat flying.
Gaga Grumps says want to steal the starting word. Send the ranking crown and snipe the list.
Thanks for following. Are you Team Grumps?
Gaga Grumps says the whole game or the race ren. Gaga Grumps says your word starting with Z please Ryan.
Grumps says at watch. Every step is called out.
Gaga Grumps says 5-letter words. No plurals. Green right letter right place, yellow right letter wrong place. Grey not in the word. Gaga Grumps says Zazit you got.
It's a Wordle wipeout. No letters to shout. Wipeout.
Gaga Grumps says wipeouts in the chat.
Can figure it out. Oh no. Wipeout.
Gaga Grumps says reach fits. Gaga Grumps says Green E moved into number 2. R and C need homes. Gaga Grumps says decor works. Gaga Grumps says oh nearly second power of the wipeout. Gaga Grumps says decry for fall.
It's playtime! Gaga is in the box! Don't let her lose!
Gaga Grumps says GG Gremlins. Let's see those W's in the chat.
Don't let him push yours! Are you ready to play? Let those stickers fly! Good game. Which team are you on? Team Gaga, give a cheer. Team Grumps, are you here? Team Gaga, are you ready? Team Grumps, are you steady? Game! Gremlins, let's go! Game! Gremlins, let's go! Team Gaga, 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 Team Gaga, give a cheer. Team Grumps, are you here? Team Gaga, are you ready? Team
Gaga Grumps says level up the step coming after this song.
let's go! Game! Gremlins, let's go! Game! Gremlins, let's go!
Benjamin is in the house.
Gremlins, let's go! Game! Gremlins, let's go!
Gaga Grumps says step in the house. Gaga Grumps says a quick segue for this. Level up in the room for.
It's a LLL level up.
Grumps says it's Step Hail.
Green, green, look at that glow. Didn't solve Wordle solo though. Support
Grumps says at DL0SSON, welcome back.
level unlocked. Shout out chat. New fandom level streak still alive. Wordle solved and you helped me thrive. Tomorrow we guess same time, same chat, same brilliant brains. Remember that.
Gaga Grumps says thanks for leveling up in the room, Steph. Gaga Grumps says if you haven't done it yet, grab your daily heart while I set up the next grid. Gaga Grumps says let's play Wordle for the last time this session. Gaga Grumps says what letter will the wheel choose? Predictions in the chat now. Gaga Grumps says we are starting with a Q without a tail.
Grumps says oh, it was on Q and you moved it over.
Gaga Grumps says like race incoming. Tap those screens. Winner chooses the first word.
Like a thumb, race to the top, like a thon. Tap and don't stop, like a thon. Who will be crowned like a thon? Gremlin renowned, like a thon. Fingers on fire, like a thon. Gremlins don't tire, like a thon. Hearts be flying, like a thon. Gremlins defying.
Gaga Grumps says want to steal the starting word. Send the ranking crown and snipe the list.
Thanks for following. Are you Team Grumps?
Gaga Grumps says your word starting with O, please, Ryan.
Grumps says at Rufus.priv no pain, no gain, as they say.
Gaga grumps says older you got.
It's a Wordle wipeout. No letters to shout. Wipeout.
Gaga grumps says wipeouts in the chat.
Oh no. Wipeout.
Gaga grumps says scarf fits. Gaga grumps says yellow sea and are in need of homes. Gaga grumps says, are we entering an ash trap? Gaga grumps says we are not. Gaga grumps says Cajun is in the grid. Gaga grumps says agreed Steph. Gaga grumps says GG Gremlins. Let's see those W's in the chat. Gaga grumps says thanks for joining me to play Wordle. I will be back at 4 PM UK tomorrow for more Wordle with Gaga. Gaga grumps says if you wish.
Good game.
Shout! It's Cooper! Hey! Shine, shine, shine. Da, 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 da. Shine, shine. It's Cooper!
Gaga grumps says BRB is Cooper time and I have to wiggle.
Wiggle butt, just a little mud with the wiggle butt. Gremlin say what? He's a corgi, don't you know? His name is Cooper, watch him go. Wiggle butt, just a little mud with a wiggle butt. Gremlin say what? With a wiggle butt, just a little mud with a wiggle butt. Gremlin say what? With a wiggle butt.
Level up.
That cute and fluffy puffball tail, Cooper, Cooper, we do, yeah. Wiggle butt, just a little mutt with a wiggle butt. Remember say what with a wiggle butt.
Gaga Grumps says thanks for the wiggles. Gaga Grumps says, can I do your level up tomorrow, Trina? Gaga Grumps says okay, then see you tonight at 10 PM or tomorrow at 4.